everyone! Today I'm here to tell you about Brooklyn's birth story. Brooklyn is our 6-month-old and she was born December 1st, 2015. And she weighed 7 pounds, 6 ounces and was born at 2:55 p.m. Brooklyn's labor and delivery was actually my favorite out of all 4 girls. It started at 5 a.m. That was my due date, was December 1st. So I woke up about 5 a.m. and I was kind of in some pain, but at that point, being 40 weeks and was the only pregnancy I went that long with, I thought she was stuck in there. And so I had been told though, by your 4th baby that when you go into labor, you don't have many labor signs, that your baby just drops and then labor hits and it goes, pretty fast most of the time. That is exactly what happened with me. So I get up at 5 a.m. and I am kind of uncomfortable, but I had family in town, I had things to go do, so I was like, well, I'm gonna go do, the stuff I have to do. My grandma was in town. She had been waiting forever for this child to come out because she wanted to be here when I delivered, so she was staying in a hotel. So I got up, I showered, and at 7 a.m. I woke my kids up and said, okay guys, it's time to get ready for school. And so I got them all ready, did their hair. I laid out their clothes for the next day and got everything ready for them for the next day. And so just in case, this was it. So I had a doctor's appointment at 10:30 that morning to actually set up my induction for whatever day, that may have been. And it was the only appointment my doctor had for a while, so I didn't want to miss it because I needed to know the date so that my grandma knew if she should go home and come back or just stay. So I went and dropped my kids off at school, and I went down to my grandma's hotel on the other end of town, and I had breakfast with her, my mom, and my uncle, and I had my 4-year-old with us. And so we ate breakfast, and I was kind of silent the whole time and kind of irritable because I was in a lot of pain, but I don't know, I didn't think it was it for whatever reason. So 9 o'clock rolled around and I was like, okay, we've got to go. I need to go to my doctor's appointment. I need to be checked. I am in a lot of pain. So my grandma was like, well, I'll come with you, and then that way if this is it, then, we can figure everything out and get to the hospital. So, and my husband works graveyard, so he was home sleeping at this point. So I get to my doctor's office at, I think it was like 9:15ish, and I told the receptionist, I have an appointment, it's not till 10 or 10:30. I said, but I need to be seen like now. I'm in a lot of pain, I think I'm already in labor. So, when you're in pain, of course, everything seems to take forever. So I finally, after like 15 minutes, I hadn't been seen, and my pain was getting worse. So I went back up to the receptionist desk, and I was like, hey, I'm in a lot of pain, and I just need to be seen, right now. So she went back and got somebody. They pulled me back to a room, and the doctor had a medical student in there. And so they'd asked, do you care if the medical student comes in? I said, sure, I don't care. So they actually didn't check my weight, my blood pressure, any of that, because of how much pain I was in. I just wasn't in the mood for it. So I go and I sit on the table, and the doctor comes in almost right away. And he goes, I hear the nurse say in the hallway, I think she's in labor. She seems to be very in a lot of pain. So the doctor comes in, he lets the student check me to start, and the look on the student's face was pretty funny because I was dilated, probably more so than he had ever checked before because, he doesn't check at the hospital. So the doctor goes, I don't know, she's over 5. So the doctor checks and he goes, yeah, you're a 6 or more, so you need to go straight to the hospital. Do not stop at home. Go to the hospital. Well, I only lived 2 seconds from the doctor's office, and I had my 4-year-old, so I dropped my 4-year-old off. I called my husband on the way, told him, it's baby time, we gotta go, be ready, get stuff in the truck, I'm gonna be there in a second. So I drive home, and my husband was ready, he had the stuff in the truck, and we got on the road quick. We had to wait for my mother-in-law to get here to watch my four-year-old and have my mother-in-law here to pick up my older girls from school. So my grandma stayed here until my mother-in-law could get here, and then she met us down at the hospital with my mom a little while after that. So we tried to go the fastest route to the hospital. We hit every red light, and I'm holding on to my husband's dash handle thing in his truck, and I'm holding on for dear life because at this point I'm in a lot of pain. I get to the hospital, I go into the ER, and I was like, I'm more than a 6 dilated. I need to get into labor and delivery now. So they take me up. I get into a room. I'm waiting what seems like forever for somebody to come in. They get me all checked in, and I go, I need something for the pain right now. Because all I could think about, they were laughing at me. They're like, you're such a mom. Is I needed to make sure that my older kids at school knew that I would not be there to pick them up, but somebody would be there, rather it be my mother-in-law or whoever I sent to go get them, depending on when I delivered. So I get, I'm like, okay, nurse, please just give me something for the pain. I gotta get my head straight for a second to be able to arrange everything I need to arrange for my children. That's all I cared about. So she goes, well, we have to place your IV in order to give you something for pain. So I go, okay. So, I mean, a lot of time seemed to go by. That's what it felt like anyway. I was checked in to labor and delivery between 11 and 11:15. And so I think it was like 11 is when I checked in. And so finally they got me some pain medication, and I emailed my daughter's teachers to let them know that I needed to talk to them, but mainly I needed to talk to my 8-year-old. So I emailed her teacher and had her call me, and the teacher gets on the phone and says, is this what I think it is? And I said, yeah. And she goes, okay, here's Sydney. So she gives the one to Sydney, and I said, Sydney, I need to talk to you. And she goes, is Brooklyn coming? And I said, well, yeah, but I need you to let me tell you, a couple things that are super important. I know you're excited, but let me tell you. I said, Nana's probably going to be there to pick you up. This is where you need to meet her. On and on and on. So, I tell her this, and she's like, okay. And the teacher gets back on the phone and said, oh, I'm so excited. Because they had known me all year. So, I was so excited to get to tell, Sydney, because she's our oldest. She knew kind of more of what was going on. And so I told her, you can tell Morgan after school when you see her. So, they ended up being fine getting home. So, I finally get the epidural shortly after, that, and I was so much more relaxed. So, pretty much everything was, super smooth. I had my water broken, and after I had my water broken, I delivered 22 minutes after my water was broken. My labor was very fast. So I ended up delivering so fast that my doctor didn't make it. The on-call doctor had to deliver, which I absolutely loved him too, so it was totally fine with me. He was the doctor that stays in the hospital for things like that so that the nurses aren't delivering the babies. So I joked with my doctor before I left the office. He goes, can you just hold her in until office hours are over? And I go, I'll try. But I delivered at 2:55 in the afternoon, so of course office hours weren't over. He showed up literally like 2 minutes after I delivered. He tried to get there, and he goes, what happened to waiting? And I go, I don't know, I couldn't hold her in. She just wouldn't listen. So delivery went completely smooth. I didn't have any problems at all. And I stayed in the hospital for 2 days, and I got to come home. It was really smooth. So now the other side of it is I had a doula, and I, again, would highly recommend a doula. I would do a doula, if I could do it all over again, I'd do a doula every time. So I went through, if you look on Facebook, if you're local, I'm in Puyallup. The doula that I went through is out towards Gig Harbor area, and she does all the surrounding hospitals. So if you're in, need of a doula, You can look her up on her Facebook page, which I will give you the exact name of that. And her name's Danielle, and she is absolutely amazing. She helped so much. Even though I had an epidural, I had a lot of back labor. She massaged my back in the perfect spot, perfect way. She, if we needed anything, she was right there, and I absolutely loved having her. You can look her up. Her Facebook page is called Birth-Day Prep. I will link them down below. And she also does childbirth classes and all sorts of things, and is extremely helpful. If you want, actually I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to do what it's like to have a doula during labor. I'm going to do a separate video all about that. But I will link her down below. Highly recommend a doula. It was so helpful having someone take over my husband's role when he was tired, or someone that we could ask questions to, or someone that would go get the nurse if need be, or someone that if they tried to stick this ball between my legs that I absolutely did not want, and she was like, you don't need to have that ball. If you don't want it, don't have it. And so she was a voice for me, which was really helpful too. So again, I will link her down below if you're local and looking for a doula. And I will also do a story about a doula, having a doula during labor, even with an epidural. It was extremely helpful. So that is it, and I hope you enjoyed all my 4 girls' birth stories, because it was all different each time. So that is all I have for you today, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a big thumbs up and subscribe if you did like it. Thanks, guys. Have a good day. Bye.